everybody, and welcome again to the Chronicles of an Immigrant podcast. And I am very, very excited today. I don't even understand the reason for my excitement, but I'm relaxed. I am not tired today. Usually I always say I'm tired, but I'm not tired today. I'm very excited. I put in a lot in my outfits as well. What do you think? Yeah, I put a lot in my looks today because I'm very, very happy. So yeah, that is about me, and I'm gonna go to my guest today. Hello,
Hello, Omoyeni.
how are you?
I'm fine, thank
Well,
you.
yeah, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Right, thank you everyone, and thank you for you guys for inviting me down today. My name is Olatunji
Mm,
Durowoju.
mm,
Yeah, generally I'm a man of so many things. For instance, I'm a freelance graphic designer.
mm.
I can call myself an aspiring or student barrister,
Okay.
almost ready to finish. I can call myself an engineer, qualified engineer back from Nigeria. And the least I can say I'm a mentor
Yeah.
for young people. And at least I can say, yeah, for that now. Let's put
You
it there.
you you're a man of many arts.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Yeah. So do you want to just tell us your background, like where you're from originally? You mentioned that you're back in Nigeria, so just clarify to our listeners where you're from and how long ago did you move to the UK?
Right, that's a very good question. You could from my name, it will
Yeah.
imply I'm a Yoruba man. From to be precise, I would say I'm from Abeokuta, but I was born in Lagos.
Mhm.
My parents are born in Lagos. We
Mhm.
don't usually go to Abeokuta, so I would say I'm a Lagos boy,
Okay.
born in Mushin. So yeah, the journey. Yeah, I went to my secondary school, primary school, because from Mushin, I remember when I was born, we moved back to Agbado,
Mm.
and then from there, our primary school journey starts. In one school in Jushaga, Ogundimu Primary School. I remember back in the days, that was a very rough school. But yeah, we managed to sail through.
Mm.
And then we ended up, our parents tried to shape things. I went to secondary school, which is a lot better. Lagos
Yeah.
African Church Grammar School, Lafrograms, very close to Ifako Agege.
Mm.
And then, yeah, we used to live in Okiaro at that time.
Yeah.
Then finishing secondary school as a young guy, we want to move on as a Yoruba person. We want to study. And that
Definitely.
brings me about looking for my university. Unfortunately, at the time, I actually scored one less in my jam, very, very bad.
So one score less than the
That's
actual.
normally my first choice was University of Ilorin,
Yeah.
and they need me to get around 215,
Mhm.
and I actually got 214.
Oh.
And the second choice was University of Benin City. Both of them said no, sorry, for engineering. So I have to go and also and find another university. So I ended up in Ondo State University at Ekiti,
Okay.
where I studied electrical and electronic engineering. So I studied electrical and electronic engineering at the time. Strike. I ended up spending 7 years instead of 5 years.
That's not bad. Just 2 years extra.
Just 2 years
It's
extra,
not
yeah.
not too bad. It can be worse.
Yeah, so yeah, I ended up, instead of 2001, I ended up 2003 finished. And then by the time you want to finish, you must be thinking, where am I going to get a job?
Yeah.
That's the norm.
Yeah.
So I just, we're aspiring like everyone else, Japa. Because I would say, us is Japa as well. It might be earlier, it's the same.
It's still the
Same
phase.
thing,
Yeah.
it only we came earlier. So yeah, and then the aspiration, try everywhere, and we couldn't figure out anything. I remember at the time, I really want to go to United States. That's where I want to go. I got a scholarship in University of Mississippi. I remember that time. I've got a scholarship, mathematics, to study mathematics.
Okay.
First
You
degree.
must have been very smart.
Yeah, I will. My friend, if they're watching, they're gonna know that. Yeah. So I got scholarship of $10,000 at the time. I'm talking about 2002. But funny enough, United States refused me to go, and I was very frustrated.
Like getting the visa itself.
Yeah. Student visa, they didn't approve it, even with all the documents and everything. So they didn't approve it. So I ended up like, you know what? I'm frustrated with this country. I can't get a job. I have to create a job myself at the time. I remember I was teaching someone because at the time of my industrial attachment, that's year 3 before you go into your year 4 in uni, because 5 years engineering. So I did computing, like IT, learn a bit of programming language at the time, Visual Basic at the time, and Fortran. Those are old languages. So I used that to work a bit, to be training people how to use computer as early as 2003. Few people knows how to operate computer. So, but I wasn't happy. I still want to do something more. So luckily, I got a sister that has a bit of connection. She works with a very good company. She arranged a visa for me to go to Schengen State, to be precise, Netherlands. And I was thinking, wow, I'm going to go to Europe and make a lot of money. I'm even telling my friends that, no, you guys, I'm going there. I'm going to go and get rich because I'm smart.
Until you get there, you just hustle, money starts.
But when I got to Amsterdam, I realized that, no, not the way I think. I remember I have to call my mom after 2 days that, Mom, I'm in Europe that you said, but I'm actually sleeping on the floor. I said, no, are you really serious? I said, yeah, I'm sleeping on the floor. And cockroach, I saw in the cockroaches. She said, no, Tunji, don't exaggerate. I said, I'm serious. I'm not joking.
Why are you sleeping on the floor like?
So if people that have been to Amsterdam in the early years of 2000, they will know exactly only one place blacks will go, Denerod, Burma, and it's one church and one redeemed that accommodates everybody at the time. And that's the place I have to. So, and all of us have to sleep on the floor. Yeah, that's the only way. And when I got there, that's when I know that I took the wrong decision. I really want to go back, but I know this affects a lot of people. When you look back, what will my friends around will say if I go back? Because really, I was determined to go back. Because I look at myself, I really want to apply for the student visa again because I got another scholarship from Canada, computer science. And I didn't do the application in Nigeria. I tried to do it in Netherlands. That's what
Let me just take you a bit back. So when you went to Netherlands, you didn't go with any student. You just went like through.
It's just visiting visa, visiting visa. Sorry, I didn't clarify that. So I just went with visiting visa. So normally I need to visit and go back.
Yes.
But normally you just hide yourself from the system. So, but I still have my scholarship, which is 2 of them for the Canadian one. So I think, okay, I'm going to apply for the Canadian visa in Netherlands as a novice. I think everything works well. I realized that's where I realized the meaning of being a resident of a country. And they say, unfortunately, we can't process your application. I said, why? Because you don't reside here. Oh, I was thinking in my mind, I'm living here, I live in the church. But the story was different. And that's where I realized that after 30 days of my visa, I'm going to be called illegal immigrant, which is a name that you'll be given if you miss any visa status at any point in time, which will change the trajectory of someone's life. Unless you know what you're doing. Because with that kind of mistake, you're about to sell like 10 years of your life because it's going to take you backward
100%.
instead of you moving forward from where you are. So at that time, when I was in Amsterdam, as a degree holder, fresh, very smart, I can teach mathematics, I can do anything. I was decapacitated. My thinking sense has to come down because the people I speak to, they don't reason the way I reason. So you find out that you have to keep that yourself, that personality, keep it somewhere.
You have to humble yourself.
Humble yourself. It's even more than humbling yourself. You just have to go into a tune that you've never been to. And yeah, you just have to carry on as life. So luckily for me, because of my IT knowledge, I was able to secure a job in Amsterdam at the time. So because the visa was 30 days. So it's an African job, African work. It's like a phone company at the time. So I did that for a while to put some money together. And it's so difficult to cross over when you don't have a document.
Yes,
It's such a difficult thing. In Amsterdam at the time, people that are there between year let's say 99 up to 2005. So you will be used as well along the line.
100%.
So along the line, as intelligent as I am, I was used. How? Because people will how you use. Yeah. So at the time, they would just tell you, oh, guys, your visa is about to expire. You know what? To secure yourself in Europe, you need to seek an asylum. What's that? So if you seek asylum, you won't be deported back to Africa at any time. Okay. We don't want to go back. All right. Most of us, we try to do it. But the guy that did it is just for his benefits, because there is always some money being paid if you seek the asylum at the time. And what the guy did, after you seek the asylum, he collect the documents. I say, okay, guys, you can go back to Amsterdam. We did it in France, right? You can go up to Amsterdam and you'll find you're safe now.
But you have to pay the guy, do you?
No, we don't pay him.
Okay.
Actually, we don't pay him.
Okay.
But he gets like, at the time, later I find out he gets like 300 euros every month.
Okay.
And based on what I know, he collected that for over like 3, 4, 5 years, and without most of us knowing. So that's the fact about being used. And then continue the journey, because I realized after 3, 4 months, I said, what? I can't stay here. So I need to find a way to go to English-speaking country.
Okay, that's true, because you don't even speak
Dutch.
That's true. 100%.
It's a very, very difficult thing at the time. Because I was very good with computer at the time, that saves me. Because what I do is translator is in existence at the time. Google Translator. So I type, sometimes I write, and they wonder, how do you write in Dutch? And what I did, I write in English and translate it to Dutch at the time. People don't know. So, but one way or the other, we tend to put things together and find our way back to UK. And to get your way back to UK, you just have to find a way, all right? It's going to be illegal way. It's not going to be the right way, because you haven't got a document. 100%. You find a way here, and then you go in the system again.
How did you, when you flew from Amsterdam to the UK, was it by air? Because there's no way you can apply. Is it by ship?
Is trying to bring. No. Don't worry. I'll let, because I really want to do this so that people can see things, all right, in a bigger picture, right? Because I believe all this thing I've been through is for people to understand what they might not be understanding back at home or even here. Now, it's a very good thing. We call that location, it's Rotterdam, Hoek. So Hoek, I have to go through a ferry. Okay. Which took me around 12.5 hours instead of a flight of 1 hour. Just to make sure I get there safe. And thanks, a bit of confidence while I was transiting, because if at some stage when I was crossing over, because at the time you have to find a lookalike, something like that to cross, right? And at the time, if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you're going to get trapped there. And when they return you back, you're likely to be in prison and sent back to Nigeria. Yeah, because at the time, there are people in Amsterdam, group of people, they put money together. If any immigrant mess up, this is the money. You can give them this money to take them home and give them 1,000 euro for them to resettle back. They do that. So if you've been caught at that time, that's what will happen. So I was lucky. I got to, at the time, I think, I got to Liverpool Street, Norwich, Liverpool Street. People that know the route of that ferry, you will remember, oh, he's saying the truth. Hook of Holland, Norwich, Liverpool Street. And I find myself in London. Thank God I did geography. I understand geography, map reading. I was able to navigate myself on the ground, London on ground. Because people that I went with, they were wondering, how do you understand the
London? Were you not scared on the ferry, like 12-hour ferry? Could you swim? Because
this question, what you said now actually happened, right? Because I watched a movie. I forgot that movie. It's a very old movie whereby Africans, they go in a ferry to survive. And the Europeans are throwing them inside the water along the line when they're upset. And that movie was in my head, that this is going to happen to me throughout. And I can tell you, nobody knows that I took that route. Everybody in the church thought I took a different route. I like to take risks anyway. I'm not scared of anything. So I took that route. I don't want anybody to know. And I really want to take that route so that people can learn that there's possibility of that route as well. That's the way I am.
How old were you at that time?
Around 28.
Okay.
Around 28.
You had nothing to lose, actually.
No, that's why I've not got kids. No one. It's just me. And I know back home, I do take risk. I remember at the age of 17, I went to Gombe. Nobody even know that I went to Gombe. In the middle of northern people, Hausa people. So it's a thing that I like to do, to take risk. So yeah, I eventually crossed and I got here. And luckily for me, when I got here, or maybe I'll say, unfortunately for me, when I got down, I normally work with my instincts, and something tells me you're gonna be caught. Oh, I say, oh, I'm there already. So immediately I come down, the guy said to me, "You are not the one in this passport." And that thing reminds me, tell him the truth. I said, the truth again. I told him, yeah, okay, that's fine. Because she said the truth, go with him. And they took me to bread and breakfast.
Okay.
They said I should stay there. In the morning, they would take me and they'll return him back to France. They would return me back to France because that's where I seek asylum.
Okay.
They have to return you back
Okay.
there. Wow. I said, no.
12 hours ferry.
I'm telling you. So I've got my bag, suitcase, all my documents, transcript, everything in the bag and the clothes. And I just told the woman, can I just make a phone call outside? The woman that I hosted, it's a very nice woman. She said, yeah, just go quickly and come back. And when I left, I didn't come back. No, I didn't come back.
You jackpot from
straight away. So I didn't return. So and that's how I got into London finally. And so and since that time, that's when you realize that this is a wrong thing to have done. And it's very important at any stage in life, when you realize you've done a wrong thing, please go back and re-amend. Don't mend it and carry on. Yeah, don't mend it and carry on, because you face more challenges. Because it's going to be you at the end of the day. You'll be responsible for yourself. So that journey that took not going back or not doing the right thing, took me about almost 10, 15, 12 years.
So when you went UK, what were you doing? Like in London?
So that makes me become a graphic designer, because you have to do a job that won't go through the system. So that turns me into a graphic designer all of a sudden, and that turns me to probably a lot of things that you can help people to do in a legal way. So just to make sure money comes in, and then you have to, at the end of the day, you'll have to get to the immigration, because they'll figure it out. You are in the country, because that's the best way to let them know I'm in the country, but yeah, I enter illegally. Then they can be doing whatever they want to do with you. And one of the things they do back then, I don't think most of people now, but if anybody, for instance, now, if anybody do jackpot, maybe I know the problem that's coming up now. Maybe you didn't pay school fees, they give you LOA, because I've been seeing those problems. If they want you to go back home, just go back home. Don't let anybody turn you to legal migrants, and then you become off the system. It's a very tormenting thing.
At the end of the day, is it really worth it?
It doesn't. Even if you sell your property worth 70 million to come here, and you ended up in that position, go back. Trust me.
It's hard though.
The mental capacity to sustain you will make you make money of that 60 million over 2-3 years, because you've done it before. Rather than you staying here and being under the radar and thinking, oh, I'm going to wait. They're going to waste your life for you.
So how was the 10-year period? Like, you were doing off the books, because now today you're a barrister.
Yeah, that's it.
What happened? Because people are looking at you saying that, oh, they should go back and go back and go back. But you right now, you're doing okay for yourself. Like, people are like, if you were an illegal immigrant, at that time, and you can be where you are today. If you had gone back, you won't be where you are today. That's the next thing.
Yeah, we have different permutations to things, all right? But the sustainability can everybody sustain what I've sustained so far?
Mm.
That's the main thing. Because I would say what helped me so far is multi-talented. I can put my mind in everything. I can cope with so many stress. And can everybody cope with those? I've seen people during the issue have seen a lot of things during this. It changes their life. Someone that knows he has the potential to become somebody great, they ended up having criminal record and they can't do well even after they secure what they want to secure. Criminal record is there. They can't do well again. There's a limitation. There's a barrier. So the problem is, I thank God for everything, but the time, yeah, you can put your head in it, but can you sustain yourself? Because what pushes, I spoke to a lot of when I got myself right, I do have interviews, we do chat with police officers, I do work with them. And one thing I told them is most of my people that do wrong thing in this country, they don't want to do it. But the problem is they got to this country, they call them illegal immigrants. They can't work. These people have capacity to work. They do a lot of work, but they can't because they haven't got status. Compared to you guys now, when you guys came, everything you come, you go straight to work. It doesn't work that way for us. We either do cleaning without paper or somebody else's paper, or we do security and it's going to be fake paper, and then we're going to be looking out, is police coming? Maybe I'm not going to go tomorrow. All those things. Because we still manage to work at the time, but we tend to use probably fake papers at the time. But when you go into work, you have this mindset. You can be arrested at work. That's the mindset at the time. My generation that came, I'm talking about 2000, between 2000 and 2010. That's the mindset. They go to work with the mind, I might not come back. They won't tell you. That's what they live with every day. They live in the house, they paid for the house, but they're scared. Immigration might knock.
Did you ever find yourself in a situation whereby immigration actually knocked at your door?
Yeah, why? If I've been living here 21 years, 22 years, why not? Yeah.
What did you do and when was that?
You see, that's why I'm saying people are different. All right. I remember when I was encountered, I came across an immigration officer. People will die on that day. They'll be like, oh, immigration, I'm gone. The way I spoke to the guy was happy with me. I told him, I'm happy to have an interview with you because I know you guys are not going to kill me. I will tell you why I got to this stage and I need to come out of this. Do you know what? The guy was so emotional. I said, because I don't like what I'm doing, but you guys don't give us platform to do anything. All right? The guy was the one that instigated me to know, I think it's a councillor, no, a mayor in Blackburn, and a councillor as well, and even some police officer. He linked me up with them. I remember, meeting was small at the time. I used to go to them. They were very friendly, but they wanted something that I can't give to them. That's why we separated. Not in a bad way, but they wanted something. I think people will understand me, people that live. So they know I've been trying to be smart. I can't give my people up. No. So it's going to happen. But if you know what you're doing and you stand by what you're doing, you will.
At the time when you were in the illegal route, you got married.
Yeah.
You had kids. There's one thing when it's just you, moving from Amsterdam to the UK by yourself in a ferry for 12 hours. There's another thing when you now have family in the picture. How was that? How did that translate?
One thing that is good about that time, the best shield you can give yourself when you find out that, the journey is going to be very long. You need to shield yourself with a family. You need to start a family. Because they have one thing that they call within the law, Article 8. All right. There's a special protection for a family. Right. So most of us takes the idea of shielding ourselves with that. And that can sustain you because they will protect you. The Article 8 is an EU principle that a family unit must be protected. So they still kind of understand that bit. But even though they punish me very well. Because when I was telling, I don't know who I tell, but back in the days, you have to report to immigration when when you don't have paper at the time, you have to report to immigration office. On some people report on a monthly basis, but they know this guy, you're clever. I want to frustrate your life, man. I know that's the tactics.
Yeah.
I tend to report every week, and then they change it to fortnight. That is for almost 7 years, which some of my friends don't even know. Some that went there maybe 2 years. And you know one thing about this, when you're going there, you're gonna go there and see you might be deported today.
Yeah.
Because you're going to the office. They're not coming to your house anymore now.
Yeah.
You're going to the office. So it's such a very tormenting place to visit. And then you see people on the queue, you're all on the same situation. You see their mindsets, you see the stress,
Yes, yeah.
you see the depression on the face of people. And now at this stage, I was still ended up speaking to people. What's up? What are you doing? Apart from people would wonder, is this guy okay?
You're very confident.
Oh, no. Unless people want to lie, people will tell you, Tunji, no, come on. Forget the confidence. I think is the one that helps, because they'll look at you. They won't. Some immigration will. I remember one of the day I went there with my CV, even though I know they're not going to give me. The woman was laughing at me. You just think, oh, this guy is depressed. Bring the CV. I'm telling you, I give her.
So wait, how did you then become who you are today? Like, because you all these things you've said, you did over under the book work for 10 years, you're in the system. Like, how do you now become, like, now you're a barrister, you're a student barrister, like how?
So yeah, what happened is, one thing about this country that I know very well, when you are sincere, when you are open for a long period of time, and they can be able to track you, they will then open up. Okay. Right? They will then open up. So because my case was exceptional. At the time, they want to even make life more difficult for me, but at that time, they just think, you know what, you've messed this guy up too much. Because during that time, I get myself a volunteer job. I was working with people that are going through the same thing in Blackburn, and they don't know I'm going through these stats. And I'm mentoring them. I'm teaching them English. Oh, the documentary will still be on YouTube, I'm sure. And it's in Darwin. The guy is a counselor, and I met with Mayor during that process as well, because they were so inspired that Hola. So those guys was instrumental. That Hola, if you're going through this, we're going to help you out. So I remember the case on the final day they want to do the hearing for my documents. The guy he sent one guy, and then he sent two people again to go with me. And I know when they go with you like that, they're gonna issue you documents, definitely. That's what changes. That's what changes the game. Yeah. Because they've seen the resilience that this guy, even though what he's going through, is still open. You can still access him anytime. He's going to be one of many that attends immigration center for a very long time. And when you set the record straight like that, they know your story. They know about what I'm telling you now. So because at some stage, you need to tell them the truth. And these people are top psychologists. They read your mind. They know exactly if you're saying the truth or not. So when they see that, okay, this guy is being sincere, that's when they can trust you. So they give you what paper exactly? Yeah, they'll give you leave to remain. Okay. So they give you leave to remain. You spend certain years, and then you get indefinite to get a British passport. Is that what inspired you to become a barrister? That's exactly. Yeah. Because why? During the period, I can see a lot of my people being abused, being messed about by our home people. These people are not even legal practitioners. They got one certificate called OISC level 3, and they call themselves a lawyer. Yeah. And they were doing all sort of rubbish. And I realized at some stage that they eventually put some people in the wrong way to keep them under the immigration problem for a very long time. And that goes in my head that, come on, I'm going to be helping people in terms of this. And then what about even figuring out the highest esteem of law in this country? So that we can, because all of us that come in that category, none even think about going through this law sector of a thing. Immediately they got the paper, we want to make money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying making money is not good, but come on, we want to live here. It is important we understand what is going on here.
Yeah.
And the best way is to understand the law.
Oh. Mm. Mm.
And that's what brings about me saying, come on, I'm going to go into law. And so he said, immediately I tell my story anywhere, especially even my first degree, because I told you I did engineering.
Yeah.
It was a scholarship. I got a scholarship because of what I'm saying here. Some people that listen to this story, they say, you know what, Ola, we will pay for your university degree if you want to do law degree. Yeah, it's a scholarship. I didn't pay anything for scholarship. And I did Leeds Trinity. I did my law degree there.
But right now, you have a charity organization where you help.
Yeah. I thought we're laying it line by line by line. So yeah. During the time when I was doing the law degree,
Yeah.
that's when I realized that even though while we're struggling, all of us that we came that know us about 2000, and I've seen our children growing up, some deviating in a wrong way. The one that touches my mind, I think Mary knows the person. The boy used to stay with us 2 weeks, 3 weeks when the mom is on holiday. And when the boy was slaughtered, I fell down. Yeah, because what happened during this time, when we don't have papers, we tend to go to work, leave the children at home, and we don't know the community we're leaving them into. So they turn to get into gang, turn to do so many things, so many wrong things. And I realized that this is another pandemic again. We're trying to survive. We are losing our children again. So that prompts me into why not setting up something that can give the young people an understanding of where they are. If they deviate, this is what will happen. And to be sincere, I grew up seeing my mom doing community parenting, because that's why I was looking at my mom does community parenting very good in our area. That I can tell you that three or four students, my mom registered them even without their mom or parents' consent. They say you must have education. So it's in me, it's been in me right from young age. And I realized, okay, maybe I'll take my own community parenting into higher level.
Yeah.
So, and that's what metamorphosed into Manchester Youth Empowerment Club. Because if nothing is done, we'll just keep talking.
100%.
And then nothing would happen.
Keep losing the kids.
And we'll keep losing the kids.
Yeah.
And then along the line, last time I realized that, understanding the educational system is even important. So, because our people, if you ask them now, when does your children pick the right course to do to shape them for their life? They say, we don't know. And it's the key area, year 10. If they don't get it right at that beginning of they can shape someone's child in this country without you knowing. Example, it's good to cite an example so that people can reference it and see exactly what I'm talking about. If you dreaming within your family, my daughter or my son is going to become a medical doctor, and they end up putting your daughter to do combined science foundation, it's not going to happen.
Why?
Because they've put your son or your daughter in a pathway whereby he learned a minimal understanding of science. So there are pathways for optimal understanding of science. And the daughter, don't get me wrong, the daughter or son, they're not even aware of it. They just think, oh, happy days. My science is easier.
No.
Happy days. And they're going on. It's not their fault. It's not parents' fault. But I just think somebody shouldn't get involved and then.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then that helps me a lot because everything works well for me. And I ended up getting a job within awarding body where they like WAEC back in Nigeria. I work there as well. So I have broad understanding of this specification of careers from young age, in which I think, oh, this is the best way to project this out. I'm talking about the charity. So that brings about the charity.
Yeah.
And then the barrister of a thing that I want to do as well, just to make sure I'm well equipped for the role of the charity, and then betterment. When you look into, this is my opinion, but this is my understanding, because I was meant to go into IT. I understand programming language. I understand basic C++ and even Java. But why I don't want to go into that because what I know it already. What I don't know, that's what I need to learn. Now, if I go into being a barrister now, when I look at the career projection, I'm talking about the longitudinal aspect of it. I can stay as a barrister up to 75 years. Even if I'm fit, I can go beyond.
Okay.
But if I decided to go in IT, this is my opinion. The logical reasoning of a man or a woman depreciates as they grow.
100%.
They will want to pick up a younger person to come and do what I'm
You
doing.
can't even with the way programming and IT is going, you'll be relevant in 5 years.
100%. And that's what I see. That's why I say, okay, what I know is what I know. I can't get it from me. You can't take it away from me. But what I don't know, let me learn that one, which will benefit me, benefit others, and even help me in the later years.
So, if you have one advice for anybody that is going through this in this situation right now, the person is illegally in the country, based off your experience, what is your top advice to them?
See, us, I'm going to speak on two view now. One, from the experience of being an illegal immigrant at the time, and then from a legal point of view, right? From illegal immigrant point of view, I will say the journey is difficult. The journey ahead is difficult. Back in the days, I'm talking about 2000, then we don't have share code.
Okay.
You can use your friend's document to work. It's fine. They're not going to know. Black people look alike. But now they share code. The future is going to become more difficult. See, we can make a lot of money in Nigeria. It's just we're not being informed, even with the security and everything. I'm not joking. You might be thinking, come on, why don't you go back? Trust me, it's just of the mindset, right? It's just the mindset. If you can move, you and both of you, if you can do this here, you can transform so many things back home with this knowledge you've been doing, what you've been doing here. It might look very difficult, but I know what I'm talking about. If you use the same energy, so that's why I would say, I think if you find yourself in that position, because I can see a lot of cases of people missing payment or little thing, they push them towards leave of absence and then realize that they need to go back home for the duration of 6-7 months and then apply again. If you find yourself in that situation, I'm not being bad. Trust me, just go back because the future ahead is going to be more difficult.
It's very interesting, and while when like we're gonna be talking when we release this episode, it will be Black History Month, and the theme for Black History Month is reclaiming narratives, like reclaiming our narratives, and your story is quite inspiring as well because
Thank you.
you had to you're only when you're sharing this and you're telling people that don't already know you or people that are in the journey that is left to us to take back that control about as regards our life. It's hard, but you have to take back the control. It's very I don't know how to explain it, but it's good of it.
Yeah. It's when you look at so yeah, when you look at the old thing is because some people would look at me and said, you say you should go back. What are you gonna go back into? Right. If we look at what is going on in this country, what I used to tell people, especially maybe 2015 or 14, when the Polish came here, right? There was a plan for the Polish. You don't find many Polish like this here, they've gone back. All right. If people understand what I'm trying to say, yeah. So when you guys come now, especially in the last 5 years, let's understand there's a plan. Don't let us fall into that plan. If there's a way, that doesn't mean there's no way out. If you find yourself in that way, there's still a way out. All right. We are Nigerians. All right. Get me right. There's still a way out, I can tell you. Right. But I can tell you that I've got something to say, but I'll try and remember. So there is a way out, but when you look at the pros and cons, and you say like, okay, maybe. But if you came around, especially okay, the example I want to cite, I always criticize something. People might think it's my opinion, right? And you might disagree with me on this. Well, let me just share it. if you guys came now, what I disagree with is, for instance, buying a house very quick. In my opinion, I would say we need to take time, right? Because we've seen so many things, all right? Especially when we're buying a house, we're more of putting money into this economy, which we're supposed to do. But what happened if anything happened to our job? We change job because the way they reprocess building here is not joke. I would rather think keep my money on other investment. I can get my turnover back quickly. And if I miss my payment or it doesn't affect, if I don't pay anything or anything, I would rather prefer the airport. Some people might disagree with me. Don't get me wrong, right? This is just my opinion that I think, okay, let me just share with my people that just came recently. Because I've seen a lot of videos. People are trying to bully themselves. Oh, I've just came 2 years ago. I've bought my property. And I said, what? That's not being successful. Don't get me wrong. No, if you've bought your property, that's not being successful. You have to be watchful. If your job is secure. Because I've seen, you want to keep something in.
Yes, I'm currently reading, like, there's this book I'm currently reading, and it's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that book actually changed my perspective as well. It says, and there's one thing that held on to me, and in that book, I realized one thing, that I am poor. And in that book, it told me that middle class people buy liabilities that they think are assets. And this is what this translates into. Like, we are buying houses, we are paying our mortgage, we are doing this, doing that, doing this, thinking that, okay, I have arrived. But not necessarily so. Are you buying an asset or are you buying a liability?
Correct.
That's how we then translate. So, and that, I read that book, I'm like, and that's why I took on the book, that I am poor. And how do I get myself from being poor to being rich? That means the book tells me that I have to build my asset column. Like, what are my assets? And your asset doesn't necessarily, if you're paying for a mortgage, if you're paying for your house and that house is not making you income, it's a liability.
Thank you.
Because you're a salary earner and the only thing you're relying on after all is your job. If that house is not bringing you money, it's good as useless.
Thank you. And we need to think that way. And the same thing applies to cars as well.
100%.
Because when we come back from Nigeria, we're used to, I'm going to buy my car outrightly. It's a wrong thing. It's a wrong thing. You can easily just hire, just rent, just hire, purchase a car and be paying monthly. You're paying from what you're earning from your monthly. You're not investing 15,000 pounds on a car, which is not going to appreciate. So I think our people should be understanding things, even if you are stable.
We need to broaden our mind.
Yes.
We need to broaden our mind because people are, especially in the world of social media, where when you see something, you just want to do it. Like, until we actually sit down and broaden our mindset and ask ourselves, where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Not necessarily what does the world say I should be.
Correct.
Until we get to that point and sit down and reflect, we're never going to grow. And the first thing we need to do is change our mindset.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
That's just it, honestly.
So the conclusion of my interview today, I would say resilience, because I went to, normally if you're about to finish your pupillage, because now I finished the law degree, I'm doing my back course now. So after that, I'll do a pupillage, then I become a barrister.
Oh, that's so good.
And one of the interview you tend to do, one of the things they said they like about me is the resilience that you, from that area, you got to this.
100%.
And I say, I just have to do it.
100%, because it's because you believe. As I said, nobody's going to believe in you if you can't believe in yourself.
Right.
What you project is what people give back to you. You are projecting confidence. You are projecting resilience, and everywhere you went, some people saw something in you and said, "I'm going to take a chance on this guy. Look at your law degree paid for." There was an aura that was speaking to people that if you did not emulate that aura, there's no way you'll be where you are today.
That's true. That's true.
Imagine being confident and being in the and you're confident and say, "Come and speak to me, I'll talk to you."
I
don't know where you got that confidence from. Honestly, I don't know.
I'm telling you. Oh, and it's not easy. And you see friends that even got paper before yourself.
Yeah.
They're even giving you names that we're friends before. And they realize, Amara was the last person, the last set that got my document. And you see them mocking you. You can't even go anywhere. You just see them mocking out, just like, you know what? You don't know what I have upstairs. Because if you have what I have upstairs, I will give you, this is what I always think. I can give you, you can start running. All right? 10 years, just keep running. When I start to run, I'll catch you up within a year. So that's why I'm not bothered.
I love
I don't envy anyone because you need to be watchful of me. If I start, hey.
I love that.
Thank you very much.
What were you summarizing? What were you I want you to give us a title of your journey.
Resilience. It has to be resilience because I don't look sideways. I just keep going. And it's the best thing is listen to yourself. I always tell my children and young ones as well, you need to have it in your brain. What would you like to become? What would you like to see yourself at? I see myself leading. I'd never agree to follow anyone, right? Not that I can't. I've been working. Even my AQA job, I'm always, all my managers, they are young, like 25, 26. But you always have that in your mind. Because if you want to lead anyway, you have to follow someone. So yeah, you just have to keep listening to yourself and make sure you get the right thing upstairs.
Okay.
Right.
We're about to this thing, and we do one thing here. Let our creative producer girls the wine first.
No worries.
Okay, this is a different one. So we do something here, and in this segment of the episode, we ask people, "What is your dream?" And after which, you want us to say your dreams are valid. What's your dream?
Oh, the dream is to become a barrister and then obviously to give back to the country because, to be sincere, no matter how we become, our home is still Nigeria. And that's our place that we can call that. Let's do something. Because when I look at the history, this trajectory between Awolowo and all these young guys at the time, they study here. They use the knowledge as you acquire knowledge, and they would, you know what, let's go back and do that country. And because we have understand a lot of things now, I think we can go back without anybody manipulating us, telling us what to do, influencing us from external. And what I'm trying to do is, I think it's not too late. I can still become a president of Nigeria.
We are a president of podcast. You're the second person that is coming to our podcast telling us that, oh, we haven't chairs. Oh, just chairs. Sorry, forget that.
No worries.
You're the second person that is coming here today, that coming to our podcast that said they want to be president of Nigeria.
There's nothing bad in it.
Oh my God. We are
so there's nothing bad. So if that has happened, you should look at yourself that you're doing something big.
Yeah.
Because people don't just open their mouth and say, I want to become. Okay. Because people will look behind the same, who is the person? Who are you? And it must be meaningful before you say that kind of a thing.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's a big thing, right? Because those guys there, it was a plan for a very long time and they managed to get there. Why not think it now and then work towards it?
100%. Your dreams are valid. I feel like you're going to do it. Because of how your journey has been, definitely you're gonna do it.
Thank you. And I've got 2 ministers here already. Happy days.
All right. Oh, I don't know what minister you want to put us in, but yeah, we are available.
You already know. Minister for Communication, Women Empowerment.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you everybody for tuning in to this episode. This episode was inspiring, eye-opening, revealing, honest. It was everything. I don't want to name any best in episodes, but this episode was really good. And I learned a lot from this episode. I hope you do too. Thank you for listening, guys. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. Oh, wait, before we go. Like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend who tells another friend. Support your girls. Bye-bye.